big, huge school. I'm so glad I just rented out this little office just for me to use. Just now. 105 love tips for your man. Awesome. Yeah. Come in!
Is this the office of Detective Moyes?
It is now. What do you need?
Well, I want to be the very best detective on Earth, and I was wondering if I could learn from you.
First off, call me Damon. Second, how would I be able to help with that?
Well, it's said that you're the very best detective there is.
Well, you know, we'll see. What's your name, kid?
Lane Averbach.
Alright, Averbach. Nice to meet you. Boys. Hey. Got your first case.
Looks like Chief Sabera wants us to solve a case at Clackamas High School. Seems that he needs us to find out why Clackamas split into the East Campus and the West Campus. Let's go over to the West Campus, start asking some questions, since it happens to be the original high school.
Such a long walk. I'm going to need a cup of coffee.
Oh, here we are, on the East Campus.
Isn't this supposed to be the West Campus, though?
East, West. Yeah, West, my bad, sorry.
Yeah, that's alright. Wait, aren't the calves supposed to be baby cows?
Oh, it's short for Cavaliers, if you did not know. The heroic warriors...
Alright, I get it. Lots of school pride, huh?
Nope.
Man, I'm glad I dug off my sweatshirt. It's way too hot in here.
No.
Have you never seen it before. It's weird.
What are you guys doing here? Stealing?
No, I'm Detective Damon. I'm new here at Clackamas. I'm on a case.
What kind of case?
It's about the splitting of the two campuses. You know, I'm just trying to figure it out, and also the geography of the high school as well.
Well, if you want my
Wait,
opinion,
I'm sorry, we need hard facts.
Who is this guy? Watson?
No, it's the guy who's gonna tase you if you don't shut up. That was interesting.
Nice. Let's go.
Cool. What do you think of the difference between the East and West campuses? What do you think of the differences?
Okay. When I look at Clackamas High School, we have had a change and evolution, a slowly developing process on how our building functions as East and West. Originally, at its inception, when we looked at adding what was formerly Sunrise, now our East Campus, to the building, the model was intended to be a freshman campus. The purpose for this was to assist students in transitions. When you go from middle school to high school, it's where I'm focused on skills to now I'm really needing to acquire credits. At its original inception, East Campus was going to be a freshman campus, so the main difference was going to be focused around supports for students new to the high school environment, where we are functioning truly more as one high school rather than a smaller school within a school. Probably the biggest difference would be during the lunch periods. There are only 2 lunch periods over there, and predominantly it's still mostly underclassmen that eat on that campus, where most upperclassmen have elected to return or stay on the West Campus for lunch, and then we'll head east.
All right. And our last question is, what is the real purpose of the East Campus? How was it affected, or how has it affected the students' view of the West Campus?
Okay, well, I would say probably the true nature of the East Campus ultimately was to spread out student density. When you look, this building was designed for a student population probably around 1800. There were times that the student population on the West Campus in the mid-2000s was pushing 2,500. So you are several hundred students over the capacity of the building. The inclusion of the East Campus ultimately has helped us spread out student densities. So it spread out those densities. We are looking at systems to help better incorporate our freshmen and give them an easier transition, to infuse more upperclassmen onto the East Campus to go ahead and aid in that transition of bringing freshmen and making the jump from middle school.
Okay. Thank you. That is the interview.
Okay, terrific.
Well, that interview with Mr. Holbeck was quite useful to us. We learned that the concentration of the high school with the two campuses is a lot less than it was with the one campus.
Yeah, but that info was useless. We couldn't even use it. How could we translate that? We need to know the heart, the idea of how the two campuses were split together instead of one enormous school.
Well, we could go talk to Terry.
Who's that?
She's the office lady in the counseling office.
Sure. Let's go. What would be the arithmetic density of Clackamas without the East Campus, and what would be its main effect?
I think the main effect would be really crowded lunches, because you would increase the amount of students here on one campus, and before we had the East Campus, lunches were really, really crowded. The hallways not so much. We are able to take the amount of students, but the lunch is not, I think. So that would be my first impression.
Okay, and what is the biggest difference between the East and West Campus that you see daily?
For me, the biggest difference that I see daily is simply just the building structure itself. I find East Campus as being lower ceilings, smaller hallways, it doesn't feel as open. So for me, it's more aesthetics. Over here, it's more open, you feel like there's more room, and it's not as crowded like in the hallways and stuff. So for me, that's the main difference, and mine is coming from aesthetics.
Okay, that's it.
Okay?
Come on. Well, that interview is pretty dang useless. None of the information that can be used for the case.
Maybe we should just give up.
Give up? I'm never going to give up on a case. I never have. We just need to go and ask some questions to Mr. Meyer. See if he'll give us any answers.
No. Don't give them any useful answers. They must finish the project themselves.
Don't worry. If they arrive late, I'll make sure I take care of them. I won't give them any useful information.
I'm pretty hungry. You want to get lunch?
Give me a Slurpee. I'm not really all that hungry.
Okay. You gonna join me?
No, I'm going to go over to East Campus and see if I can get any answers out of Mr. Meyer.
Okay. See ya.
See ya. I wish I had that Slurpee. I need to get some food, like maybe a pretzel. I'm starving. It's you! So, what do you think of the West Campus in comparison to the East Campus?
Other than the West Campus obviously being bigger, I see an opportunity for, 3 different grade levels to mingle, intermix as they go about their academic day. Or in this school year, we've tried to get them over to the west side a little bit more for some classes, and we've tried to bring some upperclassmen more over to the east side during the day to get some, to take some coursework and mingle a little bit with the younger folks. But I think the main difference between the two campuses would probably be the ability to socialize with peers outside of your group.
Okay. And is the West Campus really that different from the East Campus, and why?
When you look at the West Campus, before we actually absorbed the middle school, and when we broke out, the only logistical model that would have worked when we brought the East Campus on board was to make sure that we had all those same components. So we do have a mini student management office here. We have a counseling office where our counselors rotate once every week. They get 1 day each week over here. We have our assistant principal over here who kind of oversees supervision and evaluation for the staff members here on this campus. So what we did to try to solve some of those logistical issues right off the bat was to make sure that we could function as independently as possible. But as far as the academic goals, the building philosophy, it's just one school, just Clackamas High School.
Okay. Those are the 3 questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.
So that's basically what it was entirely. It was just all about the geography of it.
Damon, where have you been?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just woke up here and then he asked me questions, so I'm just answering a few things.
Okay.
Alright, anyways, what were you saying?
So how was your interview?
Most of them were pretty useless. I mean, it's almost like they were trying to say the wrong answers or anything.
I had a direct effect on them.
Wait, why would you do something so villainous? You fiend!
This project is this anyway. The interviewee,
Project? This is a case!
then everybody in AP Human Geography had this case.
Wait, who are you?
I'm freeborn! Haha! Anyways. So, what have you learned?
Well, I learned that the geography of the high school is very, very complex. Too complex to fit into a 5-minute movie. Whoever came up with the idea of a 5-minute movie, wholly absurd. It's just rash and everything. So anyways, the Clackamas High School is divided into 2 campuses, the East Campus and the West Campus. It's near a swamp, and there's also a farm nearby that is used for Save and Shelter classes and everything. And it's just down the road for safety.
And keep going.
The West Campus, the entire of the high school was originally to keep 1,800 students in the West Campus. There was no East Campus back then, but then recently they opened up. Look at this. Just Sunrise Middle School. And then they decided to build a giant walkway. So now the maximum capacity of the high school is 2,400 students.
What about culture?
Well, the culture is, we have many different races here, such as blacks, Mexicans, whites, Asians. And there's also many different languages and religions. So those are all the reasons why it's just such a culturally diverse school.
Very good. And anything else?
Well, I can add that the heart of the idea to split into the East and West Campus came from the school board. Because the concentration of students at Clackamas High School was way over the maximum capacity for the one building. Plus, they were also thinking about creating a new middle school, Rock Creek Middle School, for incoming middle schoolers.
Very good. You both get A's.
So class, agricultural density is people divided by arable land. Physiological density is people per unit of arable land. And agricultural density is Edwin. Edwin, what's agricultural density?
Agricultural density, that is the amount of farmers divided by the amount of arable land.
Don't space out again.
Sorry, Freeborn.
As I was saying, we're going to make a 5-minute movie on the geography of high school.
Damon, got another case.